Hello everyone, in this video I'll be taking you through how to download and install mods for Crimson Desert. This will be including a difficult mod to install the character creator, and honestly this is a lot easier than you would expect to download and install mods, so I'll be taking you through all of that in this video. I also did a video on my top 20 favorite mods currently in Crimson Desert. I'll have that linked in the comments. And this guide will work for any of the mods here, but I'm going to be using a more difficult mod to download and install with that character creator because there is some extra toggles that you will have to go through. But one thing we do need is the definitive mod manager. I'll have both of these linked in the description. This mod here made by Cracker is the newer mod manager. There's some other ones from the past, but in my experience, this is the best up-to-date one. And some of them are actually no longer supported, so the definitive one is great. I also just released a mod for Baldur's Gate 3 today, but for this, we're gonna go ahead, click the manual download. This is gonna have the DMM. You're gonna go with just the regular 1.3.3 or whatever the current version of this is, and go with a manual download. Once that is complete, you're gonna see it here in your downloads. You're gonna go ahead and right-click extract it or use something like 7-zip or WinRAR. Once that is done, you're going to go into it and you'll see the DMM, whatever version it is, and then there's going to be an application here. You're going to double click on that. Upon opening the mod manager here, you're going to see you won't have any mods here. I just have some currently installed. I did install the ones I want to show off here. There's also the ASI mods here. So if you download and install something, you're reading through the directions on it, you may see something regarding the ASI and you may have to do something in here. Also, if you're looking to reshade, there is also a selection here. You will have to install reshade into the game's bin64 directory. I may do a separate video on that. I don't really love using reshaders, but if you'd like to see that, let me know. We're then going to proceed with downloading whatever mod you want to have here. In this case, we're going to use the character creator male and female mod here by Keon95. And the next step is actually quite easy. So once you have this downloaded, you're going to grab the zip. You don't have to extract this one. Just grab the zip itself. It'll be called the character creator, whatever mod you downloaded. And you're just going to go ahead, drag and drop it here. Now, we do have to have this activated properly, and specific mods will have different instructions for them. For this one here, if you want to play as a female character, there are some extra steps. And again, always read through the mod description and make sure that you read and understand the requirements, because some mods will require you to download something different. So for example, here, when we go to look at the requirements, it has a couple here that are not necessary, but they're like recommendations. Like if you want to use like the female voice for this, and they do highly recommend using the definitive mod manager because this is the most supported one. So always read through this. They're typically important notes, as some mods, like this game has a lot of things going on in the back end. So it obviously does have some issues that could pop up. So always make sure to read through this. So we do have this dragged over into here now, and with the character creator in particular, it has an additional instruction here that you have to press this little drop down here, and you got 6 choices for what body type you want to use. So if you want to play as a human female or a goblin male, you got options. You're going to select one of these here. This is going to be a replacer for Cliff if you're looking to use this mod. So go ahead, select that. Since we're using a female in the instructions, they do say you do have to select the female animations as well. So we're going to go ahead and check this mod off too. Now there's an additional instruction here. This is one that uses the ASI mods here. The other ones that I have installed don't use this. So what you have to do is you have to go into here and you have to activate this. So just go ahead and click on this selection here. Now some mods will say they're suspicious. You may encounter that when you're downloading them or when you're importing them into here. There is a little log that'll tell you what's going on with it. And typically if you look into the mod description itself, it'll have explanations for why some of these may be a false positive. But yeah, it'll tell you it's flags here and give you a description on that there. So we're going to select that, make sure that you have the mod installed and correctly selected with the option that you want. And then after this, what we're going to do here, you can go with the check selection here. This is going to tell you if you have any issues. Sometimes there'll be red words here telling you maybe there's an inconsistency between two of the files that are impacting the same things. And always check for any type of mod conflicts. Like for example, this character creator impacts the barber, so you can't use other mods that are going to impact the same barber, as they'll end up overwriting themselves and not working. And if that were to be the case, you would check with the check there and it may tell you otherwise. After you got all your checks done, you're then going to go ahead here and go mount mods. This is going to go through, give you, basically it's just going to load them into the files in the game. You're just going to let it wait. If you're using larger mods, as some of these mods end up being like a couple 100 megabytes, this may take a little bit longer. And once that's done, you'll see that it mounted 7 mods successfully. And from this state, you can either load it naturally from Steam, or you can just press this big green button. And boom, I loaded into the game, and you can see here, this is not what Cliff normally looks like. Now with this mod, it will bring the animations of the female body types. That's why you see them doing the Damian animations there. With this mod in particular, you're going to go to the barber shop here, and this is where you're able to change it. And there are so many options here, like hundreds of faces. You got so many different hair options. And I also want to mention, if you're looking to remove this mod, I was adding and removing it multiple times just to troubleshoot it for you guys. You're going to want to put it to a natural selection here. So one of the first few selections. So when you switch this back, Cliff doesn't end up crashing the game. I've had it crash if you didn't select these here. So you can also, with this mod, switch it over to another selection, press F6 on your keyboard, and then when you go back, this lets you change your body type. So you can do faces and body on that first tab. And again, if you're going to remove any of these, put them back to their very first icon selection there. But lots of customization. It's really cool because you can play as a goblin, you can play as an orc, or you can play as a human here, and it is really fun. But yeah, that would be one of the more difficult mods to download and install for Crimson Desert. So I wanted to cover one of the more difficult options to help you guys out. But if you have any questions regarding this, feel free to leave a comment below. I'm usually pretty quick to get back to them, and it is a lot easier than you'd imagine. So again, any issues, leave them in the comments, and have yourself a great day. Subscribe if this video is useful, as I cover a lot of different mods, and I actually make mods myself, but considering making some for Crimson Desert down the road. Subscribe if this is useful. Have a great day.